The most important thing I found with the forms is that they really gave you detail about where the kids were coming from, what kind of things they were interested in, and their strengths in pre-K programs. It's nice to have a peek into the child starting on the first day, because a lot of times in kindergarten we don't really get that because it's not a transition like we have in elementary where they go from kindergarten to first and second and so on. So you can't just run down the hall and ask the teacher, how was so-and-so last year, what kind of things did they like? And so it was really nice to have something on the first day that you knew about that child. So writing the thank you notes really helps reinforce that this is a valuable thing for the pre-Ks to do and to keep doing from year to year, because they're seeing that we're getting those forms and we're using them and making decisions based off of that. So it's really important that they continue to do those forms and that we are really grateful for this step that's in place. I think if you have a child who maybe has some sort of issue with in terms of behavior, it's important to know what kind of things might trigger them or what kind of things might make them happy or sad. And so having that on the first day before you get yourself into a situation where that child is going to be more upset or more frustrated, you kind of know what the pre-K teacher said and what things they used and what worked. So some of my colleagues said that that was really helpful for kids that they knew might need extra support.
I was really excited. Anything that's helping to bridge the gap between kindergarten and preschool VPK, and I'm able to have a form of communication with their teacher, I was elated to see any sort of tool that could help make that process smoother.
On the form?
Well, each student rolls a different emotion. Obviously they meet so many milestones over the course of the year, so it's a great time to sit and really reflect on how far that student's come, what their strengths are now versus when they started, things that they probably need a little bit more support with. But I think it's great for the kindergarten teacher to have something solid to sit right there and kind of give her a heads-up note of how to form that relationship with the student a little bit easier, because sometimes a couple of heads-ups makes a big difference. Our parents were actually very good about wanting to fill out the forms. They had a lot to say and that made me feel good, because I looked at it as a reflection of what we've been able to do throughout the course of the year. And once I was able to read over the forms, it made me feel good to see that some of the parents, or most of the parents, were able to, rave about their experience at the school.
Sure.
I think that implementing a tool that helps the kindergarten teachers and the VPK teachers and other VPK teachers all come to one accord. It's like the paper's our own little liaison. We often don't get to see each other face to face, but I think that communication is really important, and I appreciate the heads up from any parent that tells me, hey, they like this or they like that. That makes a big difference, and to be able to have a head start in forming those relationships, I know my students are going to feel a little bit more connected to their new kindergarten teacher, because hopefully they'll say, wow, you know something about me, or I seem to connect with you. And we've all learned throughout the course of the year, a solid relationship is really the best foundation for a successful school year.